Gator Dave, we're back. It's week 5 already. Isn't that
It
that's
it it.
terrible? It's
I
terrible.
know it
We're
is.
almost
I
halfway
know it
through.
is, man.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, it's week 5 and we've had one win. So yeah. So not not a good week for Gator Dave. So we do want to say we're Bets Utopia, your number one location for all things sports betting. Please, folks, subscribe, like, follow, all that cool stuff. Don't forget the show's now on podcast, Apple, Spotify, all that cool stuff. And on the podcast, we offer four extra games each week besides the normal 12. So jump on that podcast too. Listen to us anytime, anywhere, any place. So, yeah, Mike, oof, we had a good time. We had a good time tailgating, hanging out, and then we had to go in the game. And Miami Mike enjoyed the game as predicted. The one game I did get right.
Got a little
I
shaky. Got a little shaky there in the
got it
second
shaky
half.
for a minute. Was about
Well,
it, man.
it got shaky because our play calling was pansy like, and we were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. We got stopped on your 40-yard line, I think 5 or 6 times. Fourth and 5 on less on every single one, and we chose not to go for it one time. We just kept punting it. Actually, we would take a delay a game and then we would punt it. Super frustrating from that standpoint because our defense was not allowing y'all to do anything in the first half. So I thought that was some missed opportunity there, but yeah, we ended up winning, thankfully, because good gracious, if we would have ended up losing that one in the end, it would have been like the Packers Browns in NFL, just outrageously shouldn't have
Great.
happened. Shouldn't have
No,
happened. So
no,
luckily it
and
didn't.
and
Moving
and
on.
and it didn't. And it didn't. You talk about bad play calling. So, you only had a spurt there. We have it every day, every game, anytime when our boy Napier's calling plays. It's bad all the time. So, not real happy in Gator Nation at this time. So, but we shall move on. The good thing is, Mike, we are not going to lose this week, Mike. We are not going to lose this weekend
All right. All
because
right. I
we're
love it.
not we're not playing. So
Bye
mm,
weeks.
bye week. So don't forget the live shows on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. More time for those wagers starting on Thursday. So uh shout out to Lawrence, who is on, and my lovely wife Nirvana. So peace. We shall get this thing rolling, man. We got lots of games to cover. Interesting week, starting to move into that no crappy games. There are a few out there that guys are still playing. Teams are still playing the pickup games, but for the most part, everybody's kind of running into the meat of the schedule. So we're going to start in the group of 6, Mike. We're going to do San Diego State. They're favored by 2.5 at Northern Illinois. So they got a little ways to travel. Over under is 42.5 in this game. The Aztecs are 2-1 on the year. Lost to Washington State by 23, but a big win against California last week, 34-0. San Diego State had 321 yards of offense to 289 for California. We've been touting California for a while. They've been looking good, but not last week. The Aztecs were 3 of 10 on first downs in the game. California was held to 65 yards of rushing. The Bears had a fumble and 2 interceptions in that game. So very interesting defense. Jaden Diego was 15 of 18, 189 the TD for San Diego State. Running back Sutton, 61 yards. On the year, Diego is 58%, 529 and 3 TDs. Sutton's got 249 and 3 TDs as well. Look at the rankings. The Aztecs are only ranked 106 in total offense, but 24th on defense. Something to keep in mind on this play. They are 2-1 against the spread, and all the games have gone under Those two that they won both went under of the 3 games. Northern Illinois, 1-2. A slight win over Holy Cross by only 2. Then they started playing big boy teams. Maryland, Mississippi State last week and lost 38-10 to Mississippi State. They only mustered 268 yards of offense to Bulldogs 452. Their quarterback only had 135 yards in the air. Running back only 50 yards on the ground. Their quarterback, who is Holst, is his last name. 63% on the year, only 327. Not too hot. Running back Wright has 214 yards on 51 carries. Northern Illinois only comes in 1-2 against the spread at this point. They've scored a total of 38 points in 3 games. Not too good. 129th out of 136 on offense. San Diego State, to me, better team here. Nice win last weekend, rolling in against California. So I think the Aztecs are going to do quite well and easily cover the 2.5. Could be more if you want to go up a little bit, but that's safe on the 2.5 for San Diego State covering. What do you think?
I like it. I'm right there with you. I'm going to go with San Diego State on the money line. They proved a lot to me last week against California. Absolutely dominated them in all facets. Picked off that quarterback that everybody's been talking about, the freshman out there for Cal, the 2. Made him look, human once more. Give me the Aztecs. A couple notes, though, here. This is their real first true distance road game, and it's going to be their longest of 2025. Over 2,000 miles to go to Northern Illinois. But the good news for them is they've had some success against Northern Illinois in the past. They're 6-0 all-time against Northern Illinois. They are also 11-2 straight up versus MAC opponents, and they've covered their last 4 against MAC opponents. So give me San Diego State on the money line to get it done. I'm not impressed with Northern Illinois' offense. I think the defense, also, if you're looking at an over-under, I lean towards the under in this one, Dave.
I agree, Mike. And shout out to Evelyn. My screen was not sitting correctly, so welcome. And Lawrence. Lawrence Riff is Capstone Charlie. I know who you are. So thanks for coming
Charlie.
on. Capstone Charlie.
Shout out. I see you there too, brother. Appreciate all y'all for hopping on.
There he is. Devontae's on too. All right. Keep them rolling, folks. Keep them rolling. All right. Next, we are headed to the Big 12, Mike. We are going Cincinnati at Kansas. Kansas is they're favored by 4.5 here, Mike. Over-under is 55.5. Bearcats come in 2-1. The one loss to Nebraska, a close one, 20-17. 2 weeks ago, they had the week off, so they played 2 weeks ago. They played Northwestern State, one of those gimmies, 70-0, racked up a boatload of yards, 605. Just totally dominated. On the year, the quarterback Sorsby, he's doing well, 70%, 655, 8 TDs, and only 1 interception. He has run for 175 yards and 4 TDs as well, so he's tearing it up. Walker, the running back, 151, averaging 6.3 on the year. Bearcats are 44th for total offense and 28th on defense, and are 2-1 against the spread. Jayhawks come in 3-1 this year. They only lost to Mizzou, 42-31. Last week they beat West Bygod, Virginia, 41-10. Took care of business. They had 388 yards of offense. West Virginia, 324. Pretty close in that regard. The big difference was a couple of turnovers on the West Virginia side of the ball. Jalen Daniels was 12-24 for 138. Also ran for 69. On the year, Daniels is 67%, 817, 12 TDs, 2 interceptions, run for 159. So he's looking a lot better than he did last year for sure. It was a rough year last year. Running back Williams, 181 and 2 TDs, with also Hishaw is another running back at 178. So Kansas comes in 59th on offense, 50th on defense, kind of even up there, 2-2 against the spread. I think Kansas has a better red zone offense, stronger rush from their edges, pretty strong on the defensive side of the ball. Daniels being the dual threat that he does, being at home with a very motivated school team crowd. We know all that money, we talked about it a couple of weeks, sunk into Kansas. I think they're going to prevail and do quite well and more than cover in this game. So give me Kansas to cover it easily on the 4.5, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. I will be the first to admit I read this Kansas team all wrong when we did our preseason show. I think I only had them winning maybe 4 games on the year. They're probably about to do that after this week. So they're having a great season so far. A couple upset wins. Jalen Daniels looks like he's put all of his turnover issues in the past, which is the real reason why I sort of was fading him the way that I was at the beginning of the year. It looks like he's corrected it, and this team is rocking, Jayhawk rocking, and the end zones look beautiful. Stadium's looking good. I'm with you, Dave. Give me the Jayhawks to get the cover here against the Bearcats. I'm not a true believer in the Bearcats. I was not impressed with them when we watched them against Baylor in the beginning of the year. I haven't really been impressed with their offense since. Defense is pretty good, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop Jalen Daniels. So, yeah, I'm with you. Give me Kansas at home. I think that's the difference maker is where it's being played.
Absolutely fired up. So Joseph Johnson on in that chat, he's saying, "What's up there, Mike?" So welcome. So we're gonna stay in the Big 12. We've got this one's a little tougher, Mike, wasn't it, my friend? So we've got TCU at Arizona State. Arizona State was the darling from last year. Obviously went to the playoffs. Many thought that was the team to beat coming into the Big 12. Arizona State's favored in this one, 3 at home, which means they're getting the 3 at home. That means it's an even Steven game, right? Over under at 55.5. TCU comes in 3-0, ranked 24th in the land. Last week, big win, 35-24 over the SMU Mustangs. They didn't quite have the numbers that Gator Dave needed. They were short by about 3 or 4 points. But it was a pretty high scoring game. They had 510 yards total to SMU's 384. So that TCU defense coming back, right? Only 1 turnover, averaged 9.5 yards through the air, which is pretty cool. Hoover was 22 of 40 for 379 and 5 TDs. And they rushed for 140. So on the year, they beat an easy North Carolina team, but obviously they're going to be tested this weekend. Hoover's got over 1,000 yards already in the air and running at 68%, 11 TDs. Barnes are running back at 156. So they're not running the ball quite as well. They come in ranked 14th on total offense and 69th on total defense and 2-1 against the spread. So Arizona State, they have lost. They're 3-1. That loss against Mississippi State. Last week they took care of Baylor, 27-24, competitive game, close game. They outgained Baylor 400-357. Pretty balanced attack, ground versus air. Levitt was 22 of 32 for 221 and interception. He ran for 62 yards. On the year, Levitt 61%, 748, 6 TDs and 3 interceptions. Running back Brown is 372, averaging 6.6 a carry. Sun Devils come in ranked 64th on defense and 55th on offense, and 2-2 against the spread. So TCU scoring quite well these days, 35 points or more in all 3 of their games so far. The Sun Devils have scored 27 in 3 of their 4 games, so it could be a pretty high scoring game. But Mike, I'm going to stick with TCU here, and I'm going to take those 3 points, and I think I'm going to be safe in that regard. So, what say you, sir? You can
You know,
change it if you want.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, Dave.
Oh,
And the
good,
only
man.
reason I am is because this is just one of those setup games. It's a Friday night game, you know, later kickoff because you got the Florida State game ahead of it. TCU's ranked for the first time this year. A lot of
Mhm.
a lot of hoopla behind this
True that.
TCU team right now. Arizona State's
True.
playing at home. They got a loss on the year. Kind of need to push the envelope a little bit if they want to still make the playoffs. This is one of the wins that they have to have against the top 25 team. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Arizona State on the money
I
line
like it.
at home. Give me the Sun Devils and Sam Levitt and Dillingham to get it right. Let's do it. Head to head, baby. Head to head.
I could see it happening quite easily, Mike. I can see it happening. Again, this is one of those toss ups, but my gut, which hopefully my gut can start getting right, says TCU. All right. And you're a nice man there, Mike, for not rubbing it in. Okay. Next game, we are going to the ACC. We're going to do FSU. And where's our friend from Kansas slash Georgia? He's not even on here. So FSU is they're getting 6.5 at Virginia. 59.5 is the over under. Seminoles, to my chagrin, come in at 3-0, ranked 8th. Damn, who'd ever thought it last year at 3 wins and 9 losses? Never would have thought it. Huge win over the Tide in game 1. Last week they beat a tough Kent State 66-10. In that game, they had 775 yards of offense to Kent State's 206. They were 9 of 10 on third down conversions, just totally dominated. Castellanos had 205 yards passing, ran the ball for 53. So it was interesting. On the year, Castellanos 71%, 594 and 3 TDs. He's run for 139 and 3 TDs. Their running back Singleton, 168. Sawchuck has 160. The Gus Bus is cooking, Mike. Florida State is ranked, drum roll please, number 1 on total offense in the land. They have taken up that spot that the Hurricanes had several weeks last year. 21st on defense. They are 3-1 against the spread. Virginia comes in competitive and doing better than we thought. 3-1 on the year. They lost 35-31 at NC State last week. They beat a tough Stanford team, 48-20, 590 yards of offense to 321. Morris had 388 yards of passing, not too shabby, and 4 TDs. On the year, he's 71%. 1,050 yards and 8 TDs and interception. Running back Taylor, 298, averaging 6.2. And Whaley, 214, averaging 8.2. So they're running the ball quite well and throwing the ball. Virginia's looking pretty good. Their offense, Mike, is ranked 5th in the land, 45th on defense, and they are 3-1 against the spread. So, this one's interesting for sure. Very could be another close game. Florida State, I think, has a much better offense and can score right now just about anywhere on the field. Virginia's going to control the clock with the run game, but I think FSU's defense is much improved, very fast, all over the place, very what you call explosive. I think they're going to be able to stop the run and be able to defend the pass as well. So give me the Noles to cover those 6.5. I don't think it's going to be much more than that. I think that game's going to be 7, but 6.5 is a safe spot right now. Mike, what do you think?
I'm going against you again. I don't want nothing safe on this Friday night. All right, this is a look ahead spot for Florida State. I think they
Who are they
come in
looking
dragging
ahead
their
to,
feet a
Mike?
little. College game day, top 10 potentially matchup next weekend. It's already announced prime time slot. Miami's going to Tally to play Florida State. Miami has a bye week. Miami has time to prepare. Florida State doesn't. That's the biggest game of Florida State's season next week, Dave. You don't think they're going to be looking ahead of that just a little bit and maybe look past this team in Virginia that has sucked, needless to say, in recent years?
Until this year.
They also have not played since 2019, which guess who won that game, Dave?
My guess is going to be Virginia.
Virginia Cavaliers won that game, Dave. Yes, they did. So I think that offense, that top 5 offense, is going to come to play. They're going to give They're going to give Florida State, I'm getting ahead of myself. They're going to give Florida State a bit of a game and be able to compete in this one. I do think it's high scoring. I think it could be like a 38-34 type of ball game, but I do think Florida State will find a way to get it done and move on into next week, undefeated for that top 10 matchup with Miami. But I think Virginia keeps it close, so give me the points. But this is one of those that's sitting at 6.5. If you're not feeling too confident, take it up to 7. Give yourself a little insurance. But for the show, I got to go 6.5. So give
That's
me
right.
6.5.
That's right, because I'm going that way. All right.
Yeah, I know you want it. I know you want it the other way.
I know. All right. So next game, another good one.
Shout out to my sister too, Noel, and our guy Ian, who doesn't look like he's in the chat right now, but
no.
Shout out to our Noels out there.
It's that 3-kid thing, man. They have 3 kids and they become absent sometimes. Him in public house. All right.
It's crazy what being a good dad will do. It's wild.
Hey, I love it. All right, next game. We're going to the Big Ten. We are going to the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers are getting 7.5, going to Iowa. Over under is 48.5. So Indiana comes in this game 4-0, ranked 11th in the land. Mike, they took care of business last week. We thought they might be able to play. Illinois might be able to beat them, but they didn't. 63-10, whooped that Illinois ass, and they're back on the map again. So Indiana had 579 yards of offense and held Illinois to 161. They had 31 first downs, and Illinois had 9. Illinois had 2 yards of rushing. 2. Fernando Mendoza, 21 of 23 for 267, averaging 11.6, 5 TDs. Running back Kobe Martin, 89 yards and 2 TDs on the ground. So Mendoza, who I think they've upped their talent at quarterback from last year, he is 77% for 975, 14 TDs and no interceptions, and he's run for 76 yards. I heard this week that NFL scouts are thinking he might be a first-round draft pick. Yep. So we need to watch this one. Very interesting. They've got 4 running backs with over 200 yards each. And they're ranked number 2 on total offense, number 3 on total defense, and they're 4-0 against the spread. Damn. So, interesting. So the Hawkeyes are 3-1. Their loss to Iowa State, 16-13. Last week, big win over Rutgers, 38-28. Mike, I did say 38-28. Mike, that's 66 points in a game, an Iowa game. Iowa's scoring points. 349 yards of offense, but Rutgers had 400, so that defense is let up a little bit. Rutgers had issues in the red zone, costly interception. Iowa did hold Rutgers to only 70 yards of rushing, but they threw the ball all over the place. On the year, Iowa Gronowski, only 60%, 492 on yards, 3 TDs, but he's run the ball for 143 yards. It's pretty impressive and 6 touchdowns. Their leading rusher is Patterson at 198. Iowa's offense, Mike, right where we like them, 103. But they scored a lot last week. And the defense is ranked 13th. They are 3-1 against the spread. Hoosiers, 58 or more points in 3 straight games, 27 or more in all 4. The offense is cooking. Give me the Cincinnati Gators to cover the 7 points in this game. Oh, 7. Is it 7 or 7.5, Mike?
7.5.
What do you got? 7.5. Give me them to cover the 7.5. So Cincinnati is one of our wish list coaches. So go ahead, Mike. What do you think?
This one's another one that's just, I don't know. It's a little sketchy. There's something about it.
I think it's sketchy. I really think
There's something about it. You know, Indiana, they had it real tight last week. It was 7-7, you know, and then all of a sudden they took off. Iowa, it was real tight with Rutgers, and then they suddenly pulled away. But like you mentioned, both offenses are elite right now. Mendoza, you talking about first round. I saw a mock draft yesterday that had him going number 1 overall based off of this past week. So, you know,
yep.
It's kind of hard to, you know, not kind of fall into that noise, I feel like, especially kind of maybe with a Kurt Cignetti at head coach who's going to eat that shit up and, you know, probably wear it as a badge.
Drive them in the ground.
So I do like the Indiana play, and that's where I was, but I think I'm going to go with the over. I think I'm going to go with the over 48. In an Iowa game, I think I'm going to go with the over. But I do like the Indiana minus 7.5. I think they get the way to get this done and move into the top 10. But over 48.5. You mentioned it. Indiana just did what they. You know what I'm saying? How can I not? How can I not? You laid it on a platter for me, Dave.
I laid it right there out for you. Damn it, man.
How can I not?
That's the play, man. That's the play.
Do you want me to switch you to the over?
I do not. I still believe in my Cincinnati Gators to win by 7.5 or more.
Here we go. It's starting.
Yep. That's it. All right. Next game to the SEC.
Shout out to Evan. I got you.
Yeah. Mike going the over. All right. So here we go to the home state. We got Tennessee getting 7.5 at Mississippi State and the Cowbells. Over under is 62.5. The Vols come in ranked 15th in the land, 3-1 on the year. Obviously, the loss in overtime to the Georgia Bulldogs. Last week, they whipped up on the UAB Blazers 56-24, but they didn't cover. In that game, they outgained UAB 510 to 394, so they gave up some yardage. Both teams turned the ball over twice in the game. UAB only had 23 yards of rushing, which is concerning. Aguilar was 15-22, 218. And they spread the running attack to about 4 different backs in this game. So Aguilar 67% on the year, 11, 24, and 12 TDs. Star Thomas, their leading running back, is 272. Bishop has 263. Their offense is ranked 7th in the land, defense at 85th. And they are 3-1 against the spread, Mike. Bulldogs, they're not the worst team in the SEC, Mike. Because they're 4-0 on the year with wins over Southern Miss, a big win over Arizona State, 24-20. Last week they beat Northern Illinois, who we talked about earlier, who's dog crap. And that was only 38-10. They outgained Northern Illinois 452-262. Chapin had 160 yards. The running back, Mike, check this name out. Fluff Bothwell. He had 101 yards. Oh, Fluff did. On the year, Chapin, he's at 67%, 884, 2 TDs, 2 picks. He's run for 71, and our buddy Fluff has 271 and 4 TDs. Bulldogs are ranked 39th on offense, 26th on defense. They come in the game, Mike, 4-0 against the spread. But you know why that is, right? And you being a man of the betting caliber know very well that no one had confidence in the damn Bulldogs, so everybody thought they would lose, so that's why they beat the spread for 4 weeks in a row, right? My guess, I don't know. This week's matchup against Tennessee, obviously an uptick in difficulty for the Bulldogs. I just don't see them keeping pace with Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to score a lot of points. I think the Bulldogs will score little in this game, but give me the Vols to cover the 7.5 in this game, Mike. What do you think?
Not so fast, my friend. Give me the Dogs
Yes.
to cover the 7.5. I'm a believer. I don't think they're going to win this game, but there's something about this Tennessee offense that it's still Tennessee. It's still Tennessee-like. You know what I mean? They start off strong. Aguilar's kind of had some moments where he shines, but then there's a couple of bad moments in there. Um, I'm gonna go with Mississippi State at home. This is Tennessee's first true road game on the year. They had a neutral site game against Syracuse to start the season. This is gonna be their first hostile environment. Those cowbells will be rocking and rolling. I think that's gonna be a big difference in this one. I think Tennessee wins ultimately, but they have a lot more at stake in this one than Mississippi State. While Mississippi State's 4-0, they can kind of let it fly a little bit. Like you said, nobody expected them to be here. Blake Shapen is playing great as quarterback for Mississippi State right now. I think they find a way to keep this one closer than people think, and that's why you see that total is where it is. So give me Mississippi State to give me a true head-to-head again here against you here, Gator Dave.
Mike, I think, here's my thought. I think if Tennessee falters, it's going to be their defense. And I think this could be a bit of a shootout. Just throw some pizza money at that 62 over my maybe. Just a thought. Just a thought. All right. Next game, we're headed to the ACC. Finally going to bet on a Louisville game. I've been pondering that for a while. So we've got Louisville at Pittsburgh. Tyler Oskin, I know you're out there, my friend. You'll watch the show one way or another. He is my Pittsburgh fan. Louisville is favored by 4. They're at Pittsburgh. We know a tough place to play. Over-under is 57.5. The Cardinals come in 3-0. Wins against the mighty Eastern Kentucky. They beat James Madison, who was supposed to be great at the beginning of the year. They thought that was going to be the group of 6 team. Bowling Green. And Bowling Green, they beat 40-17 last week. 439 yards of offense, and they gave up 321. They were only 4 of 11 on third down, so they didn't play that great. Miller Moss was he did well, 23 of 32 for 316. Brown had 84 yards of rushing. So Moss on the year. This is our friend from USC, right? He's there in Louisville now. 66%, 690 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. Not a lot to write home to mom about. Isaac Brown, 248 yards, averaging 13 a carry. But Mr. Brown is going to be out in this game, just so you know. He had a leg injury against Bowling Green. Louisville ranks 57th, total offense 16th on defense. Louisville is 0-3 against the spread, Mike. And you believe where I'm going? They've gone over 2 of the 3 games. Panthers come in 2-1, wins over Central Michigan and Dookie Yane. They lost to West Virginia 31-24 in overtime a couple of weeks ago. In that game, they were outgained 434 to 349. They only had they had 14 penalties for 118 yards. Holstein was 22 of 37, 303. Holstein on the year, 66%, 822 and 9 TDs, 3 interceptions. Desmond Reed has 142 yards and a TD. Pittsburgh's ranked 53rd on offense and 30th on defense, and 2-1 against the spread. Last year, Mike, Cardinals won this game 37-7. And it seems like the home team always wins. The games have not been close except 5 years ago. So you would think that I should go for Pitt Panthers here, but I'm going against the grain, and I'm going to say the Cardinals, and they'll cover those 4 points. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not ready to write off this Pittsburgh team yet. And Eli Holstein, he had a bad game last week, but now he's getting to go back home, play a Cardinal team that really has not impressed me at all this year. The wins they have gotten, they've barely sort of sneaked by, and I'm not too impressed with them so far. So you mentioned the quarterback also being out for them. I think Pat Narduzzi's defense, they'll be ready to go. Give me Pitt to get it home. They're getting points, +4 points. Give me the +4 at home. I think they find a way to cover this one and probably win this one outright. So give me Pitt.
All righty. Another head-to-head. We got lots of them, Mikey. All right. Next game, we're staying in the ACC. We have my friends, the Duke Blue Devils, who have not picked correctly in at least 2 times this year. They are favored by 5.5 at Syracuse. Over under is 60.5. Duke comes in 2-2. Actually, their schedule's been pretty tough. They played big boy teams. They got beat by Illinois 45-19. And they get beat by Tulsa 34-27. They beat North Carolina State 45-33. Most teams can't say they played 3 good teams like that. In the game against NC State, they had 418 yards of offense to NC State's 535. They were only 5 of 12 on third downs. The problem was NC State turned the ball over not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 times in the game and gave that game to Duke. Duke was penalized 8 times for 103 yards. Turnovers, obviously the key. Mensah, 269 yards and 3 TDs. Castle ran for 92. So Mensah on the year, the savior, the $4 million man, he's at 67%, 1,305 yards and 11 TDs. The running backs, Castle and Shepard, have rushed for 200 each. Duke's offense is ranked 26th and defense 11th. After hearing, the tough times they've had, it's just kind of crazy that they're ranked that high in both categories. So Syracuse comes into this game. They are 3-1. Let's see, 45-26 in that first game against Tennessee. They lost. They beat UConn, Colgate. They beat Clemson at Clemson last week, 34-21. In that game, Clemson had 503 yards of offense to Syracuse's 435. The difference, obviously, in that game was the 2 turnovers by Clemson. So here's the issue with Syracuse. Steve Angeli threw for 244 in that game. He has torn his Achilles, and he is out for the year. So they got backup Ricky Collins coming in. He's 3 of 8 for 34 yards. Collins on the year, 7 of 14, 99 yards, 50%, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Running back Willis, 233 on the year. Syracuse is ranked 23rd on offense, 126 on defense. You got to throw that 23rd on offense out the door when your starting quarterback goes away. Syracuse struggles on the ground. They've lost their quarterback. They're in trouble. Give me Duke to cover the 5.5. Win by 7-10 in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give me Duke in this one for the same reason you said. Steve Angeli being out is massive. 1,300 yards on the year so far, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions only, averaging almost 330 yards a game through the air. That's a big, big loss. And you mentioned the guy that
Huge.
came in for him, Ricky Collins, just 3 for 8. He ended up getting sacked twice. He had 30 yards completion and touchdown, but it was garbage time type stuff, kind of just to seal the game at the end there. It's tough when you got this Duke team going on the road as an away favorite. That's always kind of a bit of a sketchy spot, especially when they're going against a team like Syracuse with Fran Brown, who, as a home dog, he is undefeated and 3-0 against the spread. So that's something that he'll be prepared for, and that it's a lot of good bulletin board material for his team to kind of rally against with that backup. But I think Manny Diaz, he's going to put some pressure on him. He's going to send some blitzes at him, force him into some situations that's going to make him react quickly. I think this Duke team will find a way to get it done. They just got to they have to find a way to get it done in the first half. They can't wait to the second half like they did last week here. They got to get out early with it being on the road and kind of put them down towards the beginning of the game, in my opinion. If this game is a game at halftime, third quarter, this is probably one that Syracuse is going to find a way to win. So Duke's got to pull away kind of, towards the beginning in the first half. But give me the Blue Devils. I'm with you. Shout out to Novoski in the chat. I see you, brother.
Novoski's in the chat. Yeah, so, I would have gone totally different had Angeli been in the game. But the line obviously would have
100%.
been different, but 100%. I'd have been all over.
Yeah, it probably would have been Syracuse minus 4.5 at that point.
Yeah,
it would have been a big swing.
It's horrible. It's horrible because the way they played last week, beating Clemson, shit, it sucks. All right, yep. SEC time. Here we go. Auburn at Texas A&M. Texas A&M favored by 6.5 over on 52.5. The Auburn Tigers come in 3-1 on the year. Big win over Baylor. But they lost to Oklahoma last week, 24-17. Everybody claims they got Jude out of that one, but football's football. Very close game. They had 287 yards of offense. Sooners had 303. Auburn running game was stopped, which was interesting to me. Well, it's not interesting because of the coach at Oklahoma, but that was their bread and butter. And when it's all said and done, that's probably why they lost, right? Their running game was a lot of what they did, and they got lost. And the other issue, 13 penalties for 85 yards. That was another issue. Obviously, you have that many penalties, not good. They were only 3 of 15 on third downs, Mike, and 1 of 3 on fourth downs. Arnold, 21 of 32, decent, 220 yards and a TD, but no luck running the ball. He had 0 yards on 20 attempts. Granted, the sacks count against him. Jackson Arnold on the year, 68%, 721 and 5 TDs, and he's rushed for 181 and 4 TDs. Cobb, their running back, has 375, averaging 7.2 a carry and 4 TDs. The Tigers are ranked 77th on offense and 35th on defense, and they're only 1-3 against the spread. So when I'm taking this into account, I'm looking at their defense. Their running game got stopped last week, and they're just not doing too good on defense. And the fact that they're 1-3 against spread also interesting. All right, Aggies come in 3-0, wins over UTSA, Utah State, blah, blah, blah. But they won against Notre Dame by 1 at Notre Dame 2 weeks ago. They've had a week to prepare. In that game against Notre Dame, they had 488 yards of offense compared to 429 for the Irish. Each team had a turnover each. The Aggies were only 4 of 11 on third downs. Marcel Reed, 17 of 37 for 360, 2 TDs and an interception. He ran for 37, but we know Notre Dame's defense is decent. Moss had 81 yards and a TD. So on the year, he's only at 59%, but he's had 869 yards and 9 TDs. He's rushed for 142. And we got to remember with a quarterback's rushing stats, the sacks count against them. So if you're rushing for 142, hell, they could have 50, 60 yards of sacks, and that gets removed from their rushing total, which is the stupidest freaking thought process I've ever heard, but on another day. So Texas A&M's ranked 20th on offense, 66th on defense. They're only 1-2 against the spread. So something's obviously got to give in this game in terms of the spread, right? Auburn played pretty close against Oklahoma, but now they got to go on the road. 10th man, tough place. 17 points last week was their lowest total. I'm just not liking where they're going and coming into this game. So, Mike, give me Texas A&M in this one. I think they can win by 7 at home. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you here. Home team has won and covered the last 4 between these two, including last year with Auburn winning in quadruple overtime against a ranked Texas A&M team at the time. But I'm going with coaching. I think Mike Elko is the better coach. Texas A&M's coming off a bye week after that big win at Notre Dame. They're riding high, but I think Mike Elko is a good way of probably grounding these guys and getting them ready to go, getting them refocused for this Auburn team, because Texas A&M, the bulk of their schedule is still yet to come, obviously. So they got to be prepared. It's a bit of a gauntlet. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, and now with them being a top 10 team, they're gonna have a bullet bullseye right on their back. So they got to be ready for that. Something of note here too: Hugh Freeze is not the most impressive guy against top 25 teams. Since being at Auburn, he's just 1-8 straight up in his career. He's just 14-29 against top 25 teams. He is, however, no, I can't even say that. He's 3-4 also as an away dog against the spread. So give me the Aggies at home. Kyle Field, the Cultists down there in Texas. If you're going to get us canceled for some stuff, let me go ahead and get us canceled too. Give me the Texas A&M Aggies minus 6.5 here, Gator Dave.
I like it. All right. SEC, big game. LSU against at Ole Miss there in Oxford, Mississippi. Right now we got Ole Miss favored by 1.5 points there, Mike. And over under is 54.5. Big boy football. We got LSU at 4-0, wins over Clemson. The Mighty Gators. And they are currently, LSU that is, ranked 4th in the land. They also beat Southeastern Louisiana last weekend, 56-10. Tigers racked up 530 yards of offense to the Lions 205. So on the year, Mr. Nussmeier, not plugging as he thought he was, but he's doing all right. 69%, 962, and 6 TDs, couple of interceptions. Running back, Caden Durham has 213 yards and 2 TDs. LSU, their offense, Mike, ranked only 69th, not really where they want to be. So they've taken a step back on offense, but improved the defense up to 17th on total defense in the land. Now, they're ranked 43rd on pass defense. Keep that in mind. With that whole 17th on total, 43rd on pass. Hold tight. All right. They're 2-2 against the spread. Last year, LSU won this game 29-26 at LSU. The previous year, Ole Miss won the game 55-49. It's been the home team winning in the last 5 years, always against the spread. Okay. Ole Miss, ranked 13th. They're 4-0, wins over Georgia State, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tulane. Kind of a tougher than average schedule, wouldn't you say? They whooped Tulane 45-10, 548 yards of offense to 282 against Tulane. They were 7-11 on third downs. Very balanced offense on running and passing. Only one turnover. The Miracle Man, quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, had another good day. Another quality start, and I think he's going to start in the next game no matter what. He was 17 to 27, 307, 11.4 yards average, and 2 TDs on the day. He ran for 112 yards in this game. He won Lacey 68 yards on the ground. On the year, Chambliss 68%. And remember, he didn't even start. This is only his second game. 68%, 719, 4 TDs, rushed for 195, 5 yards a carry, and 2 TDs. Lacey has 358 yards and 7 TDs. Ole Miss, 9th on offense, but 72nd on defense. But the defense improved last game. They're 3-1 against the spread. So Rebels offense was good. Defense made a good statement, improved against Tulane, I think. And I think that's going to carry over in this game, Mike. LSU, really isn't set up to score 35 points a game, which I think they're going to need. And I don't think they can do it. I think it's going to be worse here. I think Trinidad Chambliss is the real damn deal for Ole Miss. He's put on a show. He can run it. He can throw it. They're averaging 42 points. Man, give me the Lane Train Gators / Rebels on the money line here, Mike.
There he goes. All right. Yeah, I'm with you, though. I got Ole Miss as well. A couple of big factors here is where this game is being played. If this game is being played in LSU and Baton Rouge, no, I'm probably on the Tigers. For the things that you mentioned with Trinidad Chambliss, he did look good last week. He looked much better than I thought he was going to in that start against Tulane. But this Tigers defense is going to be a little bit better than Tulane. So it'll be interesting to see what he does against that team. But he's got history on his side here, Dave. And that's ultimately kind of where I'm going with this one, as well as just overall records. So let me tell you some records, and I'll tell you why I like the history of it. Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin, Lane Train, is 30-6 straight up at home. So they got a pretty good home record under him. LSU under Brian Kelly, just 8-5 on the road straight up with him versus 22-2 at home for LSU. So you can see again why that home field advantage, it does matter in college football quite a bit. But here's the history for you even further, Dave. Home team has won the last 5 straight. You mentioned the home team success, but they've also covered the last 7 in those games, and they've also covered the last 11 out of 12 games via the home team. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me Ole Miss minus the 1.5 points. A little bit of gossip here. Extra. Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating LSU's starting linebacker. And just went public with it this week, game week. So that's interesting. Maybe a little mind games there from Lane Kiffin from the head source. Try to get in the head of his defense. He also posted take the over. Advice from the head coach of Ole Miss.
Did he now? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Shout out to Public House, my son. All right, next up we going. Let's see, we're headed back to the Big Ten for a big game. Not as big as some of these others, but we're going Ohio State, favored 7.5. Headed out to Washington on the West Coast. We haven't had many West Coast games, Mike, because you know how I like to do that. So we're headed west, young man. So Ohio State ranked number 1 in a lot of polls. 3-0 wins over Texas, Grambling, and Ohio 2 weeks ago, 37-9. So remember, that was 2 weeks ago. They had this week off. In that game, they had 572 yards of offense. Gave up only 181. 5-9 on third downs, 28 first downs in the game. Julian Sain coming around slightly. He was 25 of 32, 347, and 3 TDs. However, he threw 2 picks. Running back, Bo Jackson. I'll repeat, Bo Jackson, not the Bo Jackson from Auburn. All right, this guy had 109 yards and 9 carries in that game. So saying on the year, 78%, 779, 8 TDs, 3 interceptions. Our man Bo is 217 yards, averaging 12 yards a carry. So Ohio State's ranked 22nd on total offense and 11th on total defense, and they are 2-1 against the spread. So Mike, Washington comes in this game 3-0 with wins over Colorado State, UC Davis, and Washington State in the Apple Cup last week, 59-24. They had 573 yards of offense to Wazoo's 305. They held Wazoo to just 28 yards of rushing. Wazoo made things worse, obviously turning the ball over 3 times in that game. Wazoo's not playing well. They've lost to some wanky teams. But let's see. Quarterback for Washington, Damon Willis, is 73%, 778, 6 TDs, no interceptions, looking pretty good. Running back Cole has 348 yards, 6.6 as an average. And by the way, Williams is running, Williams, the quarterback, is running for 6.5 yards a carry. So Washington's offense is ranked 10th, defense ranked 25th. They're 2-1 against the spread. So Julian Sain looking a little bit better than he has in the first game or so. They're getting him inundated to the offense. The running attack wasn't there during that Texas game, but they've let him run now. It's looking pretty good. I think it's going to give Washington quite a bit to deal with from an offensive perspective. Huskies, they don't generate a lot of pressure. Okay. So I think that's going to be to the detriment of them in this particular game. I think they could have done a lot better, should have done a lot better against that Washington State team who's really hot garbage. I think this game might be back and forth in the beginning, but I think Ohio State's going to prevail in this game and cover the 7.5, Mike.
I think you're wrong. Give me the Huskies in the 3:30 time slot out there in Seattle to cover the 7.5 against this Ohio State team. This is the week that really you start to see these teams separate, and it's kind of fact or fiction a little bit. Ohio State,
Yep.
yes, they've looked pretty good so far. They looked great against Texas, but we've sort of seen what Arch Manning has done since then. Not too impressive. So really, how good is this Ohio State team? Are they justified to be that #1 overall team, or is another team that's creeping right behind with a bye week potentially sitting right there for the taking? This is one though that stands out. True road game. You mentioned it. They don't go to the West Coast often. This is their first time in Seattle since 2007. Julian Sayin, the quarterback for Ohio State, making his first true road start. That place is going to be rocking. Beautiful stadium. The fans will be electric for this one. They'll be ready to go. Jed Fish, we're a big fan of the coach at Washington. We both are. He's going to have his team ready. This is year, I think, 3 now. So he's finally starting to get his guys in there, get some motion in there. You mentioned the quarterback. He's clicking. I just think this is one that Ohio State probably finds a way to win. Just like some of the other games that we've talked about earlier, but Washington's going to keep this one close. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Washington ends up taking this one, 34-31, 31-27, something along those lines. So give me the Huskies to compete here, Dave, and let me give you some quick factoids as well. Jed Fish, home games as a home dog with the Huskies, he's 1-0 against the spread. In his career, he's 9-4 against the spread. This though is the best part about this, because Ohio State is coming off a bye week, right? You would think that is a plus. And typically when you would look at Ryan Day's record coming off a bye as Ohio State's head coach, you would think, yeah, that's a plus. He's 14-3 straight up off a bye. But when you look at his overall record as the head coach of Ohio State, he's got 10 losses, only 10 losses. out of 83 games. So when you do the math and you break it down a little bit further, you got 17 games coming off a bye compared to the other 65. There's 7 of those in the 65 when it's not a bye week that he's lost, compared to 3 when it's a bye and 17. I'm not a huge fan of that ratio. As well, this is a road game, right? I mentioned first true road game for this team this year. Ryan Day, as a head coach at Ohio State, 42-3 at home, with just 3 losses, obviously, in 45 games. When they play on the road, they've done it only 26 times, 3 losses, also on the road. So I'm not saying that Washington's going to win this one outright. I think that Ohio State, again, will find a way to get it done. But give me the Huskies to cover the 7.5. They're going to keep this one closer than a lot of people think. Don't overlook them.
Well, with your record, maybe they should listen, but I'm going with Ohio State to cover, Mike. All right. So.
Hey, you said it, not me, Dave.
I did. Next game.
The one most of our chat has been waiting for right here.
Yeah,
this is the Mac.
Oh,
it is. So last game of the show here.
Although my buddy, show, anyway. my capstone buddy was waiting on this one because he hates Ohio State. But so
that's what I'm talking about, Lawrence.
This is
down with the Buckeyes.
This is the game. This is the game. You know, we got Bammer at Georgia. Georgia is favored by 3. That's that home field advantage, right? Over under 52.5. So Bama comes in ranked 17th. They're 2-1 on the year. Big loss at Florida State. Wins over Wisconsin 2 weeks ago, 38-14. In that game, they had 450 yards of offense to 209 for the Badgers. They've now put our friend up there on the hot seat. Wisconsin had 2 interceptions. That had they not done that, this game might have been a little bit closer, Mike. So Bama only ran the ball for 72 yards on the night. That was one of the concerns at the beginning of the year. Can Bama run the ball? So quarterback Ty Simpson looking better. He was 24-29, 383, averaged 13 yards a pass, 4 TDs. He ran for 25. Their next best rusher, Mike, Kevin Riley, never heard of him. He ran for 20 yards. So they had trouble running the ball against Wisconsin. How do you think they're going to do against Georgia? All right. On the year, Simpson 72%, 862, 9 TDs, no interceptions. Running back Kevin Riley, he's only got 120 yards, averaging 5. Bama's 31st on offense, 19th on defense, and 2-1 against the spread. The Dogs, okay, they come in 3-0, ranked 5th. Of course, the 44-41 overtime win in Knoxville against the Vols 2 weeks ago. Ooh, that means they had this week off to plan for the Bama. In that game, they outgamed the Vols 502-496. It was right there together. They were 47% on third downs, 2-2 on fourths. The second half, they came to life, if you saw that game. Everybody was worried, including my lovely wife. Gunnar Stockton ended up 23-31 for 304 and 2 TDs. He's doing his thing. He ran for 38 yards. Nate Frazier had 73 yards of rushing. So they're not running the ball that well either, Mike. On the year, let's see. Stockton, 71%, 721, 4 TDs. He's run for 124. Frazier's got 189 yards and 2 TDs. They're ranked 24th on offense, 39th on defense. And against the spread, yep, as you thought, they're 0-3 against the spread. But they're having trouble running the ball as well, which is interesting, which tells me they might be throwing the ball. Both teams in this game, Mike. Bama's won 4 of the last 5 meetings, has covered the spread of the last 5 meetings. The game's gone over 54 points in 3 of the last 5 and 51 points in the other 2 games. Georgia's coming in -3 home favorites with a total at 53.5. Both teams coming off back-to-back wins. Both offenses have been red hot, and that's throwing the ball. Both teams averaging 81 points per game combined, and defenses been okay. The most recent meeting last year had 75 total points in the game. So, Mike, I think this is an easy one for me. I am taking the over 52.5 points. But I will say, when my wife asked me, who do you think's going to win the game? I think Georgia can win this game because it's at home. Might only be by 3 or 5 or 7, but I think Georgia can win the game. But for this bet and my big money, I'm going over 52.5 points. And I'm calling that a Gator Dave lock, Mike.
Wow, Gator Dave lock here for the game of the week. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that Alabama lost that game against Florida State. Not because we don't like Florida State, but I mean, this would have been one of the biggest games, probably the game of the year, had they not lost that game. But obviously, Oregon, Penn State, which is one of the games that we'll be talking about for our podcast episode, as well as a few other good ones like Notre Dame, Arkansas. So make sure to tune in for that one. This is our last one for the YouTube show, but like we said at the beginning, we always will supply some bonus here. So we got 4 more for you after this. But in this one, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But one thing I'm not going to do anymore is go against Georgia. I'm done. I'm done doing it. Every time I go against Georgia, they find a way to just bite me every single time. So I'm done doing it, and this is why. 7, specifically in this matchup, 7 of the last 13 times these teams have met, it has been an upset win. So that bodes well for Bama. UGA, though, has covered their last 5 as a home favorite versus top 10 opponents. So surprisingly there for them, because they don't typically cover too many as a home favorite in general. UGA is on a 33-game home win streak, which is the longest in SEC history, passing Nick Saban's Alabama team from the mid-2015 to, I think, 2019 seasons. Kirby Smart, 19-3 off a bye. They're off a bye week here, getting ready for Bama. The Tide, though, you mentioned that they've won 4 out of the last 5. Little bit worse. A little bit worse than that. It's 9 out of the last 10 against the Bulldogs. The last 3 that they've won have been as an underdog. The good news for them, though, most of those came with Nick Saban as head coach. And as much as you want to, say all this stuff, that is a big factor, and that is a real factor. Because, for example, Kalen DeBoer, since his time, okay, all right.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT, man. That's my GOAT. I'm sorry.
I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Kalen DeBoer is just 11-5 at Alabama as their head coach, and just 2-4 on the road. This one's being played on the road. I think that's the biggest factor here. I think this one's played in Tuscaloosa. You're looking at probably a -1.5 game, maybe half point, maybe a pick 'em. Again, home field advantage makes a big difference in college football. This is also going to be a night game. They haven't played in Athens since 2015. Last time that happened, Alabama won 38-10 against Georgia. So this is something that, Georgia Bulldog fans, they want badly. Alabama fans, they need, if they want to get back in this playoff race, they sort of, need one of these wins. And this is sort of the biggest quality win that they have remaining on their schedule, other than LSU towards the end of the year, and maybe Oklahoma the following week after that. This is going to be a hell of a game. I'm with you, though, on the points. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout, specifically in the first half. I'm going to go the first half over 25.5. So I'm looking at like a 17-10 at halftime, and we're hitting that. So I am with you, though. I think there's going to be points. I think Georgia pulls this game out and finds a way to win at home. I am a Gunnar Stockton believer. Last week against Tennessee, it did it for me. He is a tough SOB, or the week prior, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
Tough dude, took a lot of shots, got right back up in there, dropping dimes. You got a ghost behind you. Yeah, I saw that, and so I think that the Bulldogs will find a way to ultimately get this one done. The wide receivers are making plays for them. Kirby will have this defense, but yeah, I think give me the over in the first half here. The adjustments will come in the second half. I don't see as many points there, but first half I think there's going to be a little bit of some fireworks. Stadium's going to be juiced.
Yep. And I'm telling you, I was making the goat noise, but that's the big damn difference, I mean, people, he's no longer there, and this guy hasn't proved himself. Granted, they look a little bit better than they did, but they ain't played shit. So, I think Georgia fans should feel okay.
They played Florida State, buddy. That's a top 10 team right now.
No, yeah, well, that's also the first game of the year, whatever, I'm just telling
we'll see.
you.
Hey, the reason I said, Florida State hasn't played shit since then, so we don't know who they are yet, really.
I know.
So, yeah.
We'll see how they do against Virginia, but I just think that not having Nick Saban there, the worry
massive.
Some of the Georgia fans have, including my wife, I wouldn't be worried. Granted, it'll be a good game, just pure talent wise. So, all right.
Well, see, that's one of those things too, right? That's what Nick Saban used to talk about is rat poison. That people buying into that. All right, so Nick Saban's gone, right? So it's not the same team. Maybe we can take the foot off the gas a little bit. No, you better be ready to play. It's still SEC. It's still
Smart
Alabama.
Does not play that shit. No. Kirby doesn't play that. No, that's
Georgia has had a tendency of starting slow in games.
They start slow, but they win the fucking games. It's like they are. They need to stick.
That's kind of the opposite of not playing.
They
that
always
shit.
win.
You'd think they would start fast if you wasn't playing it, but it'll be a good one either way. It'll be a good one.
Absolutely. So
all right, let me throw up the recap here.
Yeah, throw up the recap for the YouTube folks there, my friend.
Yep. So we got a couple that we're on, but we got a lot of true head-to-heads this week.
Real fast.
So that's pretty good. Yeah, we got 5 true head-to-heads.
Only 5.
So.
Damn it, man!
Only 5,
I needed more
but so only 5 true head-to-heads, but then you got 2 more that are kind of we could both hit kind of thing.
Yeah, so. I got you. All right.
So definitely check those out if you're on the YouTube. Well, I guess I can run through it for the podcast people as well real fast. So we're both on San Diego State money line. We're both on Kansas -4.5. I'm on Arizona State money line. Dave's on TCU +3. I got Virginia +6.5 on Friday. Dave is on Florida State -6.5. I'm taking the over in the Indiana-Iowa game, 48.5. Dave's on Indiana -7.5 to get it done. Mississippi State +7.5. I think the Cowbells find a way to cover that one at home. Dave is on the Volunteers -7.5. I got Pittsburgh +4. Dave is Louisville -4. We're both on Duke -5.5. We're both on Texas A&M -6.5 at home. We're both on Ole Miss at home against LSU. I'm on the Huskies at home +7.5. Dave's on the Buckeyes -7.5. And then Dave is on the over for the game in the Bama UGA 52.5, and I'm on the over first half 25.5. Dave, anything you want to say here before we sign off the YouTube and head over to the podcast?
No, thanks to everybody being on. We had a great crowd this evening that jumped on the YouTube cast, and we appreciate everybody that's watching. Please like, subscribe. We've seen those subscriptions jump up, and we very much appreciate that. So tell your friends about us too. We have a good time on Wednesday nights doing our thing, and we love chatting with you guys. Fortunately, like I said at the beginning of the show tonight, the Gators, we're not going to lose this weekend. So I'm looking forward to a weekend of not losing, Mike. So, It's good stuff. Good stuff.
That's right. Take the wins as you can get them, Dave. But week 5, we are almost halfway through the year. That is crazy, 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 crazy. But yeah, good luck to everybody. And we'll switch over to the podcast now. Thank y'all for watching. An NFL show will be tomorrow night, Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We may or may not have a celebrity guest for a brief period, and we may or may not be doing a solo show. That is to be determined. So stay tuned. Could be exciting tomorrow night. 9 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. Thank y'all for hopping in the chat. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe like Dave said. Make sure to check out Shop CYA if you haven't already. ShopCYA.com. Make sure those assets are covered at stadiums. At the game last week, my girlfriend was able to use her purse, and it was awesome. Got right through security. Was able to get those assets covered while we were in Hard Rock watching the Hurricanes whoop up on the Gators. So good luck to everybody, and we'll switch over to the podcast.